Hi and welcome to the OpenI channel. We all would like to know why is it so difficult to manage our budget or finances well or become richer. In this series of 18 episodes, I will give you information, ideas and advice which will hopefully help you better understand the behaviors of you as a human being when it comes to money. Weight of Wealth, Episode 3, The Neolithic Revolution. A great change has revolutionized our history, our habits and our relationship to goods, but also allow our ancestors to get rich and build fortunes. Our present world would be much different if this upheaval had not occurred. What was this big change? That will all be explained in this video. The caveman was a nomad. He rarely stayed more than a few weeks in the same place. The tribes rushed to collect most of the resources and generally followed the migration of the animals they hunted. The fruits, berries and seeds of their surroundings were also in limited quantity, so when resources were depleted, the whole tribes moved to new lands. It lasted several 100,000 years until the end of the last ice age, about 11,000 BC. The climate has changed and distinct seasons have arisen. The cavemen saw this change and slowly adapted to it. They noted that these seasons affected the fauna and flora and also changed their migration and nutrition habits accordingly. They began to settle, staying for longer periods of time in safer places, such as caves or simple huts, to protect themselves from dangerous animals and bad weather. Strangely, over the next several hundred years, plant breeding and animal husbandry made its appearance in distinct places around the world, in Levant region, Central America and India. The men realized that it was not enough to wait for the animals to come back and that the tree give them new fruits, but that they could also influence this production. Around 9000 BC, our ancestors were already growing lentils, wheat and barley. They began to exploit the assets of their environment, such as land, climate, access to water, becoming more and more sedentary. The Neolithic Revolution represents the invention and propagation of agriculture. These tribes began to grow and the group to assemble gradually to count several hundreds of individuals. This new way of life was more enjoyable and allowed them easier access to food, but also to increase their overall safety. This change also brought some difficulties. In fact, these plants and animals had to be protected from bad weather and predators. They had to be given enough water and nutrients to be able to harvest a few months later or to count a few more animals. This daily attention required more and more time and energy. Our ancestors began to create tools and advanced techniques to facilitate their work and to improve their performance. New crafts and professions were created to satisfy these, so far unknown tasks. Addition is an instinctive principle for a human, and even children can easily understand it. The cavemen had no trouble with that. They knew that a rabbit plus a rabbit represents 2 rabbits, twice as much food for the clan. It was, however, in the Neolithic period that they first encountered the principle of compound interest. If they planted 10 seeds today and gave them the necessary attention, next year they will plant 100 seeds and the next year 1000. This method not only makes it possible to have enough food for the whole family or the tribe, but after a while it will generate a surplus, which can be consumed, set aside, traded or sold. Just as easily applicable to farm animals, this surplus helped the evolution of trade and transactions between different tribes. If I emphasize the importance of this change, it is because the principle of compound interest is very present today too, especially when we talk about savings. You do not have to be a farmer. You can use this same principle to multiply your money exponentially. We will come back to this in future episodes. In the following episodes, I propose you to discover how our brain reacts to the different situations related to the money and thus demonstrated to you that in spite of what we think, our caveman brain has much more influence on our financial decisions than we imagine. Next episode, Hunga wins the jackpot. I hope this information has inspired you and that it will be useful to you. Do not hesitate to share them with your entourage, to like or to subscribe to see the rest of this series or other interesting videos. Thank you and see you soon!